BPT University as a senior assistant professor in the School of Pharmacy. Today I will discuss about the powders, the different types of powders, the different types of preparations that is used for the formulation of powders or for the preparation of different kinds of powders, advantages of powders and disadvantages of powders. Now I will start with the introduction part of powders. They are considered as the oldest and simplest dosage forms since supplied either in the bulk or as an individual doses in the fine state of subdivision of drugs or drugs with or without the diluents. Usually, bulk powders are supplied for externally used purposes and individual doses for internally used purposes. A pharmacist's view for powders as a dosage form should be important for their state of subdivision. Homogeneous mixing if contains more than one drug, their dispensing procedures depending on physical and chemical properties of the drugs and diluents, their packaging and labeling. Powders are still very commonly used dosage forms in many of the dispensaries simply because of their simple formulation and packaging techniques. Sometimes few of the drugs for internal use are not dispersed in fine state of subdivision but rendered to a granular form using some processes. This form of medicament is called granules. They are usually supplied in bulk form, and granules are formulated in such a way that they should evolve carbon dioxide gas when added to water before taking the dosage orally. Such forms of powders are called effervescent granules. Nowadays, powders for internal use are very conventionally replaced by tablets and capsules, while powders for external use with sprays and insufflations. So this is a general introduction of powders. Next is the advantages of powders. Advantages of powders, like they are most versatile and convenient to prescribe, compound and administer. They provide the precise dose. Physician has the option to deviate from the conventional doses of the medicament. They are more stable than liquid dosage forms since remained in solid state. Most of the drugs degrade when come in contact with moisture. There are very less chances of chemical reactions among the drugs present in a mixture because of the absence of moisture. Hence, no incompatibility is found. Being available in a very fine state of subdivision, they show rapid rate of dissolution and hence rapid rate of absorption. Disadvantages over other solid dosage forms like tablets. They are taken easily in bulk quantities either with food or some drink. They are easy to carry than liquids, and they are most economical dosage forms since they do not require large number of machinery or special techniques. They are easily administered to those patients who are not in condition to swallow through feeding tube after dispensing them in water. So powders are suitable for unconscious patients who are hospitalized or infants and children who cannot swallow the tablets or capsules. So these are the advantages of powders. The next one is a disadvantage. The drugs which are sensitive to the atmospheric conditions like air, moisture and light are not suitable for dispensing in the form of powders. Drugs which are bitter, unpalatable, corrosive and nauseous are not suitable for dispensing in the form of powders. Drugs which are hygroscopic, delinquent, oxidizing and effervescent in nature may arise problems in dispensing processes. Drugs which are volatile in nature are not advisable to dispense in the form of powders. It includes number of operations like milling, sieving, mixing, drying, etc. Hence time consuming to compared. In powders for external use, it requires finest state of subdivision of powders, hence become costly. So these are the disadvantages of powders. The classification of powders. Powders are classified according to the use and dispensing. So according to the use, powders are classified into two types, that is, one is external and the second one is internal. Second one is the powders are classified according to the particle size. So it is also classified into very coarse, moderately coarse, fine and very fine. And the last one is the powders are classified according to the dispensing. It is also classified into two types, like bulk powders and divided powders. Classification of powders, it is classified into three types, like powders for internal use. It contains two powders. One is divided powders and the second one is bulk powders. Divided powders are further classified into four types, like simple powders, compound powders, powders enclosed in cachetes and tablet triturates. And the bulk powders, it is further classified into two types. One is antacid and the second one is laxatives. Second classification, the powders for external use, it is also further divided into two types. The one is dusting powders. Dusting powder, it is subdivided into two types, the medicated dusting powders and surgical dusting powders. And the second one is insufflations. The third one is douche powders, and the next one is dentrifices. And the special powders, it is classified into two types, the eutectic mixtures and effervescent powders. So if we discuss about the divided powders, when the powders are supplied individually as a single dose in a separate packets, they are called as divided powders. The simple powders contain only one ingredient, either in crystalline or amorphous form. These powders should preferably be reduced to fine powders, weighed properly and supplied in a single dose packet separately. Next one is a compound powder. Compound powders contain two or more ingredients applied in the form of fine state of powders in divided dose, that is each dose is supplied in a single packet. Next is the powders enclosed in a cachets and capsules. So cachets are unit dosage forms of drug in which drug is enclosed in a tasteless sheet formed by pouring a mixture of rice flour and water between two hot polished revolving cylinders. The water evaporates and sheets of the water formed is called cachets. Next one, if we discuss about the tablet triturates. Tablet triturates are prepared by molding powders into tablets. They are flat and circular disc shape. Usually they are prepared for potent medicaments and highly toxic drugs by diluting them with diluents like lactose, dextrose, sucrose, etc. Next one is a bulk powders. Bulk powders means supplied in bulk quantities, and patients are instructed to take out the extract dose with the help of measuring spoons and take according to the direction of the prescribers. In this, the dusting powders, if we discuss about the dusting powders are the well known example of externally used powders. They are free flowing, very fine powders for external use containing antiseptic, antibiotic, astringents, antiperspirants, absorbents, protectives, and lubricants. The fine state of subdivision of the powder is must to eradicate the effect of irritant and enhance the effectiveness and homogeneity. Medicated dusting powders, they are usually applied on superficial skin conditions and sterility is rarely essential. However, they must be free from spores of dangerous pathogens like tetanus, gas gangrenes, and anthrax. They are sterilized by maintaining the whole of the powders at not less than 160 degree centigrade for at least 1 hour. The surgical powders, they are used in body cavities and major wounds, on burns, and on the umbilical cords as infants. Therefore, it is essential to sterilize such powders. They usually contain antibacterial agents like chlorhexidine and hexachlorophene, and sterilized mace centrifizes is a powder used to clean the teeth with the help of toothbrush. It should have the following characteristic, like it should be finely powdered, it should have a cleansing action, it should have mild degree of abrasiveness. Next is the special powders. If we discuss about the special powders, there's some special type of powders are dispensed which require special techniques to dispense since the ingredients show their peculiar properties. First one is eutectic mixtures. They are a mixture of powders which when mixed turns to liquid. Some of the drugs which tend to liquefy on mixing are camphor. The effervescent powders, they are especially formed solid dosage form of medicament intended to be taken internally. So this is the a simple classification of powders. The next one is simple and compound powder. Simple powders contain only one ingredient, either in crystalline or amorphous form. These powders should preferably be reduced to fine powders, weighed properly and supplied in a single dose packet separately. The wrapping of powders may be single wrapped or double wrapped, lined with wax papers according to the properties of the drugs. If the drug is resistant to atmospheric conditions, it can be wrapped singly, and if sensitive to those conditions, it must be double wrapped. General method of preparations: there are four methods, like preparation of wrapping papers, preparation of materials, wrapping and double wrapping. So the first one is the preparation of wrapping papers. Feed accurately the required amount of paracetamol powders, which is already in its fine state. If not, the first reduce to fine powders and weight. Wrap each dose in a white demi paper. Wrapping technique: the packets are collectively supplied in an envelope which is properly labeled, like name of patient, name of age of the patient, name of doctor and sex. Directions to be taken 1 or 3 times a day. Auxiliary label, like keep in a well closed container, date on which dispense, name of dispenser and name of hospital. So this is the general method of preparation of wrapping papers. Select a box to hold the required number of orders. The glazed paper, known as a white demi, is generally used for wrapping. Arrange the papers with their long edge parallel to the front of the bench, and turn up the long edges of each about 1/7 of its width, and arrange them with their turn on edges away from you, and with each paper in front of and slightly overlapping the previous one. So the second one is the preparation of material. Preparation of material: separately powder a slight excess of any crystalline ingredients. Weigh out the required amount of each, and if necessary the diluent. Mix the ingredient in a usual free pass through a 250 sieve, and remix. Place the mixture to the right of the balance and weigh out the powders, placing each towards the front of its paper. Before starting to wrap, weigh the surplus powder. The next one is wrapping. Wrap on a large sheet of white demi to keep the packets clean. Carry the front edge of the paper over to the turned up edges. Bring the turn up down and then fold this edge forward until it covers about 2/3 of the distance to the near edge of the packet. Turn the ends of the packet under using the powder folding from the creases by smoothing them with a flexible spatula. Stock the powders in pairs, flaps to flaps, and tie with thin string, a strip of white gummed paper or a rubber band. The next is the double wrapping. White dummy paper gives inadequate protection to volatile, hygroscopic, and delinquent substances until it is lined with a grease-proof, or if greater moisture resistance is required, waxed papers. So this is the general method of preparation of simple and compound powders. So the next one is the dusting powder. These are the free-flowing, very fine powder for external use, and dusting powders are meant for external application to the skin, for antiseptic, antipyretic, astringent, anti-perspirant, absorbent, protective, and lubricant purposes. Dusting powders are the well-known example of externally used bulk powders. They are free-flowing, very fine powders for external use containing antiseptic, antibiotic, and protective and lubricants. The fine state of subdivision of the powder is must to eradicate the effect of irritant and enhance the effectiveness and homogeneity. The purpose of ingredients like absorbent and lubricant is to absorb the watery portion of the wound and get stuck on the applied part. Incredibly property so as to make powder easy to flow on the wounded part respectively. Dusting powders can be divided into three types. The first one is medicated dusting powders, second one is surgical dusting powders, and the third one is dentifrices. So the medicated dusting powders, they are usually applied on superficial skin conditions, and sterility is rarely essential. However, they must be free from spores of dangerous pathogens like tetanus, gas gangrene, and anthrax. They are sterilized by maintaining the whole of the powders at not less than 160 degrees centigrade for at least an hour. Other constituents like starch and zinc oxide are not sterilized. The purpose of these ingredients in dusting powder, talc, it is being an excellent lubricant. It is used to enhance the flow property of the powder. Starch, being an excellent absorbent, it is used to absorb the watery portion of the wound and get stuck on the part for long time. Surgical dusting powders, they are used in body cavities and major wounds, on burns and on the umbilical cord or infants. Therefore, it is essential to sterilize such powders. They usually contain antibacterial agent like chlorhexidine and hexachlorophene and sterilizable maize starch and sterilized talc. Externally used powders for body cavity are called insufflations, and they are medicated dusting powders that are blown by an insufflator into the regions such as nose, throat, body cavity like teeth, sockets, vagina, ear, to which it would be difficult to apply the powder directly. Dentifrice is a powder used to clean the teeth with the help of toothbrush. It should be finely powdered. It should have cleansing action, and it should have the mild degree of abrasiveness. Next one is a method of preparation of the dusting powder. First, weigh the required quantities of talc, sterilized starch in powder, and zinc oxide. Mix zinc oxide with starch and incorporate the purified talc, and it should be sterilized. Mix thoroughly all the ingredients and pass the mixed powder through a sieve number 122 to remove the gritty particles. After sifting, whole of the powder must again be lightly mixed. Pack the powders in sifted top containers to protect it from air, moisture and contamination, as well as convenience of applications. Next one is the effervescent powders. They are a specially formed solid dosage form of medicament intended to be taken internally. The basic requirement for effervescent granules are medicaments, sodium bicarbonate, citric acid and tartaric acid. The purpose of taking such type of ingredient is to produce effervescence, which such preparation is added to water before administration. The carbon dioxide is released as a result of acid-base reactions, and the preparation is advised to be taken while effervescing. The advantages of effervescent granules, like the carbonated water formed serves to mask the saline or bitter taste of the drugs. Carbon dioxide stimulates the flow of gastric juice and accelerates absorption of medicament. Effervescent granules are preferred to effervescent powders in order to decrease the rate of dissolution in water due to decrease in surface area. They usually contain a soluble medicinal agent mixed with citric acid, tartaric acid and sodium bicarbonate. Method of preparation. The first method is the heat method. A large porcelain or stainless steel evaporating dish is placed over water bath, which is being heated to boiling point, and must ensure that the evaporating dish is hot when the powders are added to it. The powdered ingredients are passed through a sieve number 60 and weighed and mixed. Then they are placed in the dish already warmed on water bath and pressed down with a spatula until the mixture has formed a loose cake or a coherent mass is formed. Then damp mass is pressed down a sieve to prepare the granules and dried by keeping in an oven at a temperature not exceeding 60 degrees centigrade. Second method is the wet method. The mixed ingredients are moistened with a suitable liquid in a dish in which alcohol is added in a small proportions with continuous stirring until a coherent mass is formed. The mass is then passed through a sieve number 60 and the granules dried at a temperature not exceeding 60 degrees centigrade. The dried granules are again passed through the sieve to break the lumps which may have formed during drying. Then drying pattering wide mouth airtight containers. The next one is efflorescent powders. Efflorescent powders, the crystalline substances liberate water of crystallization wholly or partly due to change in relative humidity or become wet or liquefy. Next, the last one is the hygroscopic and delinquent powders. Hygroscopic substances absorb the